Good morning, everyone. Thank you for starting your day with us today. Well, it takes a bit of a commitment to be here at 9 a.m., so we really appreciate your company. I'd like to start by showing this slide with a number of seemingly unrelated things and ask you to think if you can guess or think of what might be the commonality among all these seemingly unrelated objects. First one is a black rhino, a number of black rhinos roaming in Sera Wildlife Sanctuary in Kenya. And then what you see is railway maintenance wagons scattered all across Switzerland. Then industrial valves used at several sites operated by Dow, Shell, BASF, Chevron, and Halliburton. Nearly 1 million panic buttons deployed in US, mostly at schools, hospitals, and hotels. Radiator knobs deployed across multiple retirement homes in the UK. More than 300,000 street lights across India. And exit signs at DSV campus in Venlo, Netherlands. And multi-million water meters deployed all around the world. Obviously, being in this room, you can easily guess they are all connected using LoRaWAN. Today, LoRaWAN has the widest set of applications supported by single wireless communication technology. Not only that, but also it is the only wireless communication technology that one can build public networks, private networks, community networks at scale. Not only build them in isolation, but also be able to integrate them, both terrestrially and also using satellites. And that's how, after our very first 10 years, the very first decade, we have reached a massive scale already. 125 million connected LoRaWAN devices all around the world, and our annual growth rate is 25%. We have several multi-million device connected networks from our members, most notably one of our board members, Zener. They have exceeded 10 million devices. Today, outside China, LoRaWAN is the most deployed low-power wide area networking technology, and globally, it is the fastest growing one. And if you ask us what's the recipe, well, okay, it's no longer a secret. First of all, the technology is fit for the job. It provides long range of communication, all the way reaching more than 300 miles in line of sight, and also being able to penetrate through walls when used indoor. Providing a low power solution that the devices can last more than 10 years. And not only providing these fundamental features, but also coming with numerous advanced features like firmware update over the air, roaming, relay, multicast, etc. And on top of those technical features, we also made the technology be highly accessible by supporting it over unlicensed bands, providing an extremely low-cost infrastructure, and an open standard built by LoRa Alliance and endorsed by and published by ITU, International Telecommunications Union, and multiple open source implementations available in the market. And it is backed by a robust ecosystem, LoRa Alliance. LoRa Alliance has more than 360 members today, which presents the core ecosystem. And we have as many companies outside, which presents an extended ecosystem. And last year alone, in 2025, we have added nearly 60 new members. And we have a robust certification program, more than 600 certified products in the market. So the recipe is out, but obviously the hardest part is the execution, and we have been doing a pretty good job at that. Now, I would like to give the floor to LoRa Alliance members to tell you more and also demonstrate you LoRaWAN in action. Next speaker, Wienke.
Yes. Thanks a lot, Alper. Hi, my name is Wienke Giezeman. I'm the CEO and co-founder of the Things Industries. We're one of the global leading IoT companies. You just saw there on the list as well. I want to first thank CES for having us on stage, you guys to be here at 9 a.m. and want to say a special thanks to Alper, who's been taking over the LoRa Alliance for the next 1.5 years, and he's done an amazing job in pushing this standard and the story around it forward. So we are a LoRa Alliance member. We focus on providing the software to make sure that LoRaWAN solutions can scale. If you build a LoRaWAN solution, you're after deploying low power sensors that need a long range or need very good penetrations to walls or industrial refrigerators or anything. And you're interested in deploying a highly open standard with a large ecosystem of choice and a democratized basically platform where you can adopt the standard and cherry pick the vendors. These vendors operate in this architecture, high level. So you have devices like these. This is a radiator knob, a water meter that is connected to LoRaWAN. Then that data has to be sent to a gateway. There's a wide range of gateway vendors out there. Next up is our friends from Browan, who have a complete portfolio of indoor, outdoor gateways in all kinds of different contexts. They can operate indoor. They can operate it even where ATEX certification is certified. They can operate in the bad weather, cold weather, etc., etc. Then at the middle, the piece of software that orchestrates all these devices, the security, the gateways, the data flowing, is called a LoRaWAN network server. We're a leading company globally now in providing a cloud-based and on-premise LoRaWAN network server that you need to operate this platform. And you can connect any of our 30 gateway partners to the platform and any one of our 300 device maker platforms, makers that certified around 1,500 devices on our platform, serving all kinds of different use cases. So what our platform then supports next is all kinds of integrations into any platform. Of course, all the major cloud providers with their IoT platforms, you can easily forward the data to with a no-code manner. We provide data decoding and data normalization so that the data that these devices are sending are easy to interpret by your IT or IoT platform. And the majority of our customers actually implement these integrations into their own applications or their own ERP systems, directly feeding the data of these sensors into where your existing digital transformation exists. And that's where our customers build the applications. So this is an ecosystem play. We do one thing, and we expect our partners to do another thing. And if everybody does their thing really well, we can solve this very complex and complicated and risky puzzle of building IoT solutions. As Alper just said very nicely with his examples, is LoRaWAN is cracking a lot of different nuts. Right? It's solving a lot of different problems, and this makes it very unique. It also makes that the broadness in which it's being applied across the market, across so many verticals, is really astounding. So my objective for this talk to inspire you with a set of proof points, set of mass scale deployments in a very wide range of industries that will inspire you and give you ideas on maybe to do it yourself. The geographical distribution next to the vertical distribution is also very strong. We started 10 years ago directly as a cloud initiative, so we launched globally. And the diversity is immense, from mines in Argentina tracking cattle in Australia, doing air quality in high schools in Canada, to doing, for instance, retrofitting radiator systems in hotels in Germany through these smart radiator knobs using LoRaWAN. But it's literally everywhere. It's because the standard can be applied everywhere. There are different frequencies and SKUs that you need, but at scale, that is really not a big problem. So all these different categories, they are served with this. And now yesterday, or almost every day, I get the question, okay, like you see all these customers, you have 1,000 customers across the world, kind of like, what is that key vertical that we need to get into to make a successful IoT business? And there's always a very, very unsatisfying answer to that, as there's not one key vertical, right? It's really the broadness. And every vertical has its opportunities or challenges. And of course, if you, for instance, you could say that in metering, these are high numbers. Also, there's high challenge and there's low margin, right? So what we now see when IoT matures is that kind of getting into IoT because you want to get into IoT, and if that is not per se a recipe for success. What's a recipe for success is that you're in a certain domain, you know the problem, you are a domain expert, and you are able to connect the dots where IoT can drive your business and create kind of like be part of your digital transformation. IoT by itself is never an objective. That's a project, that's a pet project, that's a hobby, right? We've been around for 10 years and we have always very much focused onto making lives for our partners and the developers of our customers, making their lives easy. Because we know that the developers of our customers, they will make their bosses happy and then these companies will be successful. That's the way to go, right? Bottom up in this fragmented market, top down is hard. So we've partnered over the last 10 years with all these different device makers and they used our enterprise tools to create and test all these different devices. So we have around 1,500 compatible devices. So you cannot even like see them on our website, thethingsindustries.com. You can go to the partner portal and you can see all of them and get a lot of inspiration. What we've seen over the last few years, this exponential growth of all these different solutions, because that growth literally goes exponential, because somebody starts with a POC of around 100, somebody of around 100 devices, then it goes to 10,000, then it goes to 100,000, because once you made something work at a scale of 1,000, like your scalability issues towards 100,000, yes, they are there, for sure, but the 0 to 1,000, that's the hard bit, right? And if you made margins and ROI work there, I mean, we can help you scale. So we work with a lot of partners and a lot of customers across the world. Many of them are LoRa Alliance members, and many of them are also not. They are in a domain. They frankly don't really care about LoRaWAN, right? They care about that data getting into their system. And we did an analysis of these 4 million devices that we operate across the world. And we did an analysis that over a lifetime of 4 years, an average device creates around 125 million in opportunity, in not so say net revenue or in OPEX saving, but in value. So that means that you could argue that for these 4 million devices, around 2 billion in value is created. And again, this is not per se revenue or increased revenue. This can also can be, in many times, it's OPEX saving or reducing risks. And then if you kind of start to drill down, let's say in this IoT market, I talked about all these different verticals and that there are so many verticals where IoT can be successful. And let's just, for instance, drill down in the vertical of, let's drill down into the vertical facility management. Right? In facility management, there's many use cases you can think of. Like you can, for instance, measure the fill rate of the soap dispenser. Or for instance, we see a use case around food compliance where you measure the temperature of the fridges. If you look at the US, there's around 8 million commercial fridges out there. Let's say that if we service them all, there's a revenue opportunity of 2.4 billion. And that's only in the US, right? So if you drill down and able to kind of nail one problem, but then you can scale that across the nation, yeah? Like the technology is here, 10 years of hardening the technologies and 10 years of all our device makers partners and the gateway partners in the ecosystem. Like these markets are accessible. So let's say we have 4 million. We make, let's say, the value that kind of is generated from the network management services around 16 million. Then when you deploy a device, you have to think about the total cost of ownership around $300 per device, right? That's your investment. And what we see in our enterprise customers, they at least have a 5x return on that investment when they're successful, right? So now that the likelihood of being successful with IoT is ever increasing, it's really now the time to start. It's literally finding the domain problem and seeing IoT, us, LoRa Alliance, as a commodity. Yeah, we're just here to serve you, to make sure that you're going to get some data from the edge to cloud in a low power way. And so we've compiled a list of customers of which we're allowed to share with it. I can say that the most interesting customers I would love to share with you, I'm not allowed to share with you, but these give a really good representation. So this is InView. They provide the security products that you see in the Apple store, or in the Samsung store, or in the electronics. What they do is they create these security products connected to these phones. And with LoRa, they get data about how many times it's being picked up. And when the thing is actually, somebody tries to steal it, directly, when the alarm goes up, all other phones are locked. So you maybe have seen on YouTube this video where somebody's trying to get all these phones, right? So when you grab one, all the other ones are directly physically locked into that casing using LoRaWAN. Estrella, US-based company, tries to make sure that if we transport food, yeah, we have as least as waste as possible. So they do condition monitoring, not only temperature, humidity, but they also have biosensors. So actually, if that is in a crate like you have a crate of fruit, and it starts to kind of like have some first signs of rotting, you exactly know that, and that saves a lot of food. We also have internet service providers, actually, that's trying to deploy networks with LoRaWAN. This is a local ISP, smaller one in the north of the UK, and they saw this opportunity to use their ISP capabilities to also build LoRaWAN networks, but have outdoor networks. Together, we're working on them now to deploy millions of these kind of water meters that run on a battery for 10 years. Right? That's, and these have massive ROIs, right? If a device lasts for 10 years, you can imagine what the business case is. This is a utility company from Austria. They're covering the entire country of Austria with LoRaWAN network to do water metering, but they also do not only water metering from homes, but they're adding all these kind of sensors and data gathering kind of units across their infrastructure to measure all kinds of other things that are interesting for a utility company. This is well on some shipping. It's one of the high-end shipping companies. For instance, they probably shipped your Tesla if you ordered a special one and it had to be produced in China, for instance. They need to do condition monitoring because if you get your Tesla, you don't want it to smell like rats and shit, and that doesn't smell nice. So they need to do a lot of sensing in their ships to do it right. This is a newer company that does boiler monitoring. Kind of truck rolls are the most expensive and margin crushing thing of a company. So they monitor the boilers and do predictive maintenance. This is a sensor a company that does sensors in high schools here in the US, both patting buttons, but also detecting bullying and vaping in bathrooms, because you cannot have cameras there, of course. They ship medicine across the world. What they do is they monitor the crates of the conditioned air freight crates that ship vaccines and medicine from the Middle East to China. And when the plane lands, the devices offload the data. They track cows. You want to track a cow if you have a farm without a fence, either Argentina or in Australia, and you want to have a lot of data about it. You want to know where it is. You also want to know through AI, they can detect if, for instance, a cow is starting to get labor. You need to get into your Jeep, get to the place, and make sure everything goes well. This is a commodity trading platform. When you, for instance, trade in grain, you take risk of the quality of products, but you're somewhere behind a desk in Geneva, and the silo is somewhere on the other end of the world. And you want to know if actually what your asset that you think you have actually exists and like is conserved at a good point. So kind of summarizing this up, LoRaWAN has been through a hype, and it's now really reaching maturity and getting to this plateau of productivity. This is our device growth over the last 10 years. And you can see people love it, they believe it, they use it. Yeah, this is going in the right direction. We're not alone. Analysts think that LoRaWAN is not only here to stay, it's growing, it's being used. It's really recognized as one of the bigger, one of the standards out there, both IoT analytics and Beecham research. So I hope I showed you what it is, what you can do with it, what other companies are doing with it, and the best, and it's never been easier or a better timing to start than now. What is that we're handing out 30 starter kits and we're going to give it away to this audience, which you can use to kind of build your own prototype. And this is at a value of around $300. And just get started and get your hands on. And just start by taking a few days to build a POC, and then you know if it works or not. So you can visit our booth. We're at the LoRa Alliance booth. And if you scan this code, you join the lottery, and you can win one of the 30 networks that we're gonna hand out this week. To summarize, as a CEO, co-founder, I haven't been more excited about this technology and about the opportunity of IoT than today. And on behalf of us and also of the LoRa Alliance, I would really love you to invite this journey, because really it's taking off right now. I want to thank you very much for your attention. I want to hand it over to CEO of Browan, our great partner, and I hope you enjoy your day. Thank you very much.
Good speech. Thank you. Right. Good morning to everyone. I'm Henry Huang, the CEO of Browan Communication. We are a member of the LoRaWAN Alliance and also serving as the vice chair and the only Asian board members sitting on the board of LoRaWAN Alliance to bring in the Asian spices into the alliance as an international organization that is promoting LoRaWAN. So with my peers sharing with you the idea of how LoRaWAN has been coming into the, moving forward into the futures and how the vertical market is actually accepting it, you can find that the main domain of the application for IoT seems to be in the monitoring and tracking area. So for me, I think I take this mission to share with you how we could actually blend and or complement that you are eagering for, or sustainable and successful business. So what I'm sharing with you is the AI enhanced zone level tracking solution. Let's put off all these jargons away. We know there's a lot of things in operation, in management that we would like to make more effective for customer satisfaction or for operation efficiency. So the issue with moving forward with IoT to improve the existing tracking asset system is actually a pain point for many management. So what they actually look at is the real problem is there's a lot of different technology out there that comes with different advantages and disadvantages by itself, the so-called pros and cons. So we took it from our customers when we work with them. They came to us. We want an automated system that could help us track everything, but we are having problem with our Bluetooth. We are having problem with our UWB, or we are having problem with Wi-Fi tracking because precision is an issue, battery efficiency is an issue, deployment is so difficult, and so on. So we look at the BLE and we found that, okay, it is providing some level of tracking, but energy-wise, it has to be replaced. The battery has to be replaced in a very high frequency. And the accuracy itself is around 3 to 8 meters. And then it requires constant beacons for tracking in it. And the cost to set up a Bluetooth with the anchors around the room is not only tedious, but also highly costly to deploy it. And not to mention, it comes with a high maintenance cost because of this replacement of battery and the installation of all these anchors. Although UWB have a very good precision, again, battery is an issue, complex installation, and so on. So how can we help businesses to actually move into IoT, automated tracking as soon as possible? We came up with a hybrid environment and helping their corporate to decrease the overall capital investment for setting up just a simple tracking system. So this infrastructureless system actually starts with the existing Wi-Fi in the facility or in the building. And then we add in LoRaWAN gateway as a supplementary network, which is decreasing the overall investment, utilizing what is actually in existence to make it a quick deployment and without any stopping of daily operation. So this concept and this infrastructure start off with Wi-Fi signal collection in the environment. We set up an AI model to actually create the map with with algorithm to set up with the heat map of the environment, and then using LoRaWAN for the backend data transmission of the assets, and then with the AI-based location inference, and then eventually the AI itself keeps on learning in the environment, meaning that if I were to implement a new or install a new access point into the existing heat map, Do I need to do anything to tell the system to enhance its positioning, or is it a valid signal for positioning, and so on? The system will use its own defined criteria to get that hit point in to set the higher precision, or to level it out so that the interference goes to a lower level and your tracking will be more precise. So when I said AI-powered system, I'm not really saying the big AI thing, but something that we try to use the existing Wi-Fi, existing LoRaWAN, existing AI tools that all complements each other, integrate into a system solution so that you could quickly develop a automated and the lowest manually managed tracking system. It would be able to catch the image of the floor plans, and it collects the data points and plans for itself how the network should look like. Of course, it provides the signal analytics of the movement of the tracking. When the signal strength of Wi-Fi deteriorates or increases, how should this be implied? And then the interference analytic itself decreases false messages or false tracking of the devices itself. And then with all this being done, the system itself, the solution itself would go into the heat map prediction of, even with the signal not being received yet, it would know the trajectory of your assets movement. And then, of course, providing a more precise positioning model, which is an AI-driven model, so that it decreases the confusion of the system itself when it's tracking with all the pre-trajected data that how things are moving on. And it also helps the signal augmentation with a Gen AI integration for the insights of the tracking information that you like in certain format or certain criteria, and also the behavioral analytics that was done the previous days to predict how this asset is being moved around, and providing intelligent alerts. And this is all included in the package that fully utilizes the existing resources that you have in your corporation, and then also providing a meaningful, predictable with the trajectory of the past data to the management of how all the assets, including humans, physical things, that is moving in your facility for the efficiencies that we're all looking to. So as a simple illusion of how the solution architecture looks like, we start off with the Wi-Fi devices for positioning data to be sent out, further on with LoRaWAN into the management system. While if the mobile devices installed our RTL, it would also be included to the connection of 4G or 5G into the cloud, to the management system, to be considered as part of the devices or the personnel that needs to be tracked into the system. So it is not only the existing LoRa devices or Wi-Fi devices that is attached to the assets, but when there's new personal devices, some mobile phones or computers that needs to be tracked, could also be included in the system without huge effort. So we hope this system to provide a future trend of indoor tracking with a combination hybrid of AI, Wi-Fi, LoRaWAN, and even perhaps in some instances, Bluetooth, some instances with UWB integration, because we know that there's no one single solution that could address universally in different environment. So what Browan is trying to create as a value to our partners in IoT world is to help them to look at what we already have, and on top of it, provide the seamless inclusion of new technology to improve the existing level of satisfaction of tracking. So we see by offering that solution, we guarantee a level of intra-free positioning, fast setup and rapid implementation without disruption of your daily operation, seamless system integration where you have mobile devices or LoRaWAN devices or Wi-Fi devices quickly included into the system. And we have enabled AI-powered tracking algorithm to help your environment to adapt to changes of different wireless signal for tracking as fast as we can. And we ensured, because using the LoRaWAN technology to ensure an energy efficient and cost-effective solution to the corporate world. What I just shared with you is actually implemented around the world with our customers, and with a preliminary assessment of the values that is created to their management, which they share with us. We already deployed the system in Taiwan airport for trolleys tracking, because it is part of their customer satisfaction program to ensure that when you go to the carousel, you will be able to locate a trolley and then get your luggage on it and get out of the airport as soon as possible. But oftentimes, when you go there, the trolleys are all around, good and bad. You can't find a good one for yourself. Or in some airports, it is just beside you, but you have to pay a lot of money for it. But in Taiwan, it's a free service, but yet they want to ensure that they retrieve it appropriately and provide it into the lines of customers for immediate usage. And this not only provides an improved labor efficiency, but it also decreases the loss of the trolleys and also provide a better level of customer satisfaction through trolley availability. We also deployed the system for a semiconductor testing company in Taiwan. I'm sorry I can't name the name, I wish I can, but we are still yet in a press release for that. They wanted to track their visitors or vendors that is in their facility within the day's operation because of the sensitivity of the businesses, or they need to make sure that everyone goes in and out one by one. So they have a visitor program. When you go in, you check in yourself with the trackers, you go to your working zone, you don't go out of your zone. If you are there for wastewater collection and you happens to be in the cafeteria, there must be something wrong, right? You're bringing some polluted water into cafeteria or things like that, but this is, I'm just taking it for example, but what they're actually tracking is commercial spies from this direction. And then we are also working with Taiwan Public Works Department for underground safety, because with this underground, the penetration of all other technology frequencies are not as good as LoRaWAN, which is working on a sub-gigahertz level, and it penetrates through the underground concrete and the working area very well. We also have Singapore Airport with us as our customers for their boogies tracking, the golf carts tracking for handicap transportation, and also some wheelchairs for tracking. We are also doing a smart facility management in Thailand to help their operation of their factory to improve their task compliance visibility, to decrease their idle time, and also a cleaner efficiency. And then there's also a program for the tracking of the TPR center, a mobile TPR computerized center in Thailand hospital, so that they would be available when the staff needed for measurements of human vital signs in different wards that is shared among a different division of in their hospital. So all in all, these programs provide the effectiveness and efficiencies the operations needed, and at the same time provide a seamless introduction into the floor without interrupting their daily operation. This is what the manager likes best. You save my money, you create efficiency for me, a higher satisfaction for my promotion next year, and then yet you don't disrupt my operation, daily operation. I need this room keep on going without any closure for your installation of any new gadgets that you want. So this is what we have already around the world, and in fact, there's a few more projects that I'd like to share with you later on when it is more concrete. So I hope this brings to you the idea what Browan Communication and the LoRaWAN's ecosystem is trying to share with you in expediting and propelling the values that were created with the movement of the IoT implementation. This concludes my presentation. I thank you very much for your attention, and I hope this opens up your day, and we are at booth 10349. I look forward to speak to you in more details of your interest. Thank you very much.